What's up, everyone? This is Crisis169K Mark coming to you live, not upload, live stream, powered by Spectrum Internet. I know it's been a while, guys. I told you this year I'd be taking a step back from making tons of videos and making them sporadically. I told you about that. Just since my mother's passing, death, I kind of put the whole front that I'm going to be more with my family and less with, not with us, you guys, but more of my actual family and friends. I mean, you guys are my YouTube subscribers, and you guys are my family too as well. But my actual family needs me too as well. So that's why I'm letting you guys know this. So my videos are going to come few and far between. I'll still make them, but as I'm going through this IBS nonsense and other stuff's going on in my life, I have to make decisions, determining factors that will help prolong my channel a little longer than normal. Because like I said, guys, and then this is I'll get into the video here in a little bit, but I have put serious thought, of closing down my channel and just saying hell with it and walking away from it and just having YouTube Premium and YouTube make my videos as I feel, like I used to do. Um, but with the advent of the YouTubers, um, RGT85, and he left for a little bit. Rich tomorrow used to be former Rich Tech USA. Boogie Tonight from a non-existent factory. He's part of the locale podcast group, and that's fine. That's it for him. It helps if it helps him, regenerate and regenerate his channel. That's a good thing for him. But a lot of us, myself, who've been on here since 2013 or longer, who haven't had the same success as those guys I mentioned. After a while, you get tired. Like, what's the point? I'm not gonna hit 1,000 subscribers anytime soon, but I have fun doing it. That's why I haven't bought much stuff or reviewed much stuff, even though I've been looking at stuff, but I haven't done much reviews yet. Um, but today is about the gaming community. This video is pretty much I have Helldivers 2 as the guinea pig today, but it's the gaming world is new. Odd Place is a new odd place. Live services always online. No owning games. Um, let's see here. What else we can add here? Live services. Live services. Uh, um, um, Xbox, Game Pass. You know, PS Plus. I would put Nintendo on here, but I don't have enough room for Nintendo. So, live services, no owning game, play Xbox Game Pass, PS Plus. Um, that's pretty much, guys, really what it is. Hello, whoever joined. Uh, Thank you for watching my video, guys. I'm gonna make a quick video. I'm probably gonna go back to bed because I gotta get up and do things. I woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning. But the gaming community, guys, is kind of weird right now. We're in a weird flux. With Nintendo Switch 2 releasing and selling somewhat marginal, and scalpers buying them and now realizing that their investment is pretty much a pile of dog doo doo. It kind of makes the situation even more aspirated that this gaming generation, guys, it's built upon live services. And everything we do is a live service nowadays. I don't care if you play just single player games. That's a live service in a sense. Because I don't care if you're playing games like Dead Rising or games of that nil. You still got to download it, buy it, and download it. In most cases, you are downloading it to your system of choice. You pick your poison. It is rumored that Dead Rising may come to Switch too. Dead Rising 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Once again, just rumor. I wouldn't go, oh my God, Mario, you don't understand. It's not true. Like with that question about, Uncharted coming to Xbox. Uncharted, the first one, was actually on the Xbox. The Uncharted, I think, was something Drake's Legacy or what it was called. It was the very first one that came out. Was actually on Xbox. Uncharted. The original Xbox, but became a PlayStation exclusive when Insomniac put it on PlayStation. So Uncharted, did come to Xbox. It was the original OG black Xbox that had it. So I've seen it, and X played the review on it, actually on it. So it did have one, but the modern one probably not. But I'm saying that because they'll just stir the pot, but also to understand that these companies are trying to make money as much as they can. Think about it. You're Microsoft. You got tons of IPs that are sitting there rotting away. Your Xbox fan base only cares about a racing game, Halo, and some Call of Duty thing, and that's really it. Warzone. You don't have a whole lot of money coming in uh, to this ecosystem, and you need money to pay back that essentially almost $100 billion you spent, on the Xbox grab both hands spending spree that Phil Spencer and his team did. That being said, though, now you have to push Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and it's selling pretty well right now. The numbers came out, and some numbers were actually saying it's +2, +1, plus a percentage point, whatever, moving the needle. Listen, guys, in the corporate world, moving the needle is moving the needle. You move the needle half a point, that's hundreds of millions of dollars. If you move it 2, 3 points, that's billions of dollars. And Game Pass Ultimate made a lot of money during the COVID situation. So Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, would pray for another, deadly world disease. As long as as long as it boosts their numbers and people actually buy their consoles of choice. What I just mentioned. It's straight your console here, kind of thing, and pay for Game Pass Ultimate. Like I bought another one here. I bought a 1 month for myself here, $20. The ones I gave were 16. So, but yeah, I bought this one for myself. I'm gonna use it. I have a 3 month I'm using right now anyway. But we're all hooked into it, guys. Now, I made the comment to the GameStop employee where I bought it from, saying, "No, we're hooked into everything that's a live service." She says, "Yeah." Well, she didn't even say much to me. She was kind of irritated because they had to put up a Nintendo um, Switch 2 display that came in late at GameStop, and they were pissed. D, who I called the guy named D, who's a store manager there, he was really pissed about it because he says such came in 2 weeks earlier. And now they had to make room for it and put it up that day, and it had to be done that day. And of course, GameStop is not really busy much anymore anyway. And they're kind of a lost entity, the lost legacy, the lost identity of the gaming community right now. A lot of people don't go to GameStops anymore. I go to GameStop because I enjoy it. Now, I bought a Steam card for my father for Father's Day. Father's Day Sunday, but we're celebrating later today. $28, just just so he can go on there and buy some digital games or digital licenses that he may not even know. But it's where we come from. I love Steam. I love the fact that I can go with $150, $200, whatever you have in your Steam wallet, and buy 10, 15 games. You may never play them, but you can buy 10, 15 games on Steam on summer sale, winter sales, any kind of sales. Hell, they had a Capcom sale. You could bought Dead Rising for almost nothing. Pennies on a dollar practically. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is this: the gaming community, as of right now, is in a state of flux. We're still fluxing between the not owning any games, wink, 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 or licenses, to used to own games and used to have a library of games. Now, our library of games are digital. Now, I think Steam, a lot of publishers would have us have our games, keep our games purchased. Now, if they go out of business or go belly up, out of business, I can see that being a problem. Games like Mecha Assault 1 and 2 on the original Xbox. You never seen a greatest hits collection or a remastered version because the company went out of business a long time ago. Even though that game sold extremely well on Microsoft Xbox, it just didn't pull the company out of the gutter that it was in. And Mecha Assault 1 and 2 were great games. I would love to have Microsoft get that IP and bring it back and put it multi-platform. Mecha Assault 1 and 2 would be a great game because it was a great game. Uh, it was fun to play online with friends, even though Xbox Live was still ooh and ah on original Xbox back in 2000 and 2003. You still had that kind of situation, but the gaming community, guys, is in a flux, and we're finally realizing that digital gaming is here to stay. Even a lot of YouTubers like RGT85 and even Dreamcast guy have realized that owning games is no longer the norm. People want the quick hit. They want the Game Pass Ultimate game to come out. They want to play Sea of Thieves, beat it or get close to beating it or whatever you want to call it. I'm in live service game and get tired of it and go play something else. And go play State of Decay 2 or 3 or whatever drops. That's the mindset of a lot of gamers. Now, I'm not the gamer where I play a game for a long period of time, I play until I beat it. Even myself being 44 years old, I caught myself buying tons of games and only playing a handful of them. I haven't played Far Cry 4, even though I beat it on the Xbox and PlayStation. Far Cry 5, I beat it on the Xbox One X. Red Dead 2, I beat it on the Xbox One X. I have Diddley on there. I bought these games and I play them sporadically. Some games I haven't played hardly at all, like Batman Arkham Knight. I bought that game brand spanking new for like $7 on Steam a couple years ago. Still sitting there. And rumor mill is that Steam may even come out with a return policy where you can trade games in you own, digitally and get money for them. You probably get, like I said, depending on a dollar probably though. But if you have an old game sitting there that you can get like $5 for, you never played, maybe it's time to trade it in. But I don't think that'll work out real as well as going to GameStop and trading the game in. It'd be just you'd be getting bent over and screwed, by Steam now instead of going to GameStop and getting bent over and screwed. Um, but do I believe is the end of an era? Yes. It's the end of an era when it comes to the game community as we used to know it. I went to the GameStop and saw Nintendo Switch 2 just sitting there. Normally, Nintendo consoles would be fights over 'em. I remember in the 90s where Super Mario Bros. 3 dropped and people losing their minds. Super Mario Bros. 2 dropped, people lost their minds. Super Mario Bros. 2 dropped. John had it, so William didn't have it. So William and John ain't friends no more because William doesn't have it. So William's mom is driving from New York to New Jersey to damn freaking Pennsylvania to finally find this game, bring it back, and now John and William are friends again. I mean, it's crazy back in the day how crazy it went. But that was a norm back in the day. But nowadays, kids don't even have that anymore. It's they don't have that rush of opening a new game and looking at it in the car right home, seeing the plastic, what they're getting used to, what's going to be, seeing that Super Mario Brothers 2 cartridge and wondering in your mind what's going to be, what's going to be, what's going to be, and it's that no, you don't have that anymore. You have screenshots and videos on Steam now. Even Microsoft and then Sony are putting screenshots and gameplay on the games that you're going to buy digitally. Used to be if you have any screen at all. If you're gonna buy, Army of Two, you didn't know what it was gonna be like online, even though you couldn't buy online right now anyway. You had to buy it in the store, and you saw a video of it in GameStop, for example, or EB Game, for example. That's the only time you saw play, or you saw an X play. You saw first time seeing game like Army of Two, but you didn't get the chance to go touchy feely online, and see the actual gameplay and see stuff on it. So I think this gaming community, I think Steam is great, but Steam caused a lot of problems when it came to not giving people the visual mental cue to appear to go physically see the game mentally. Army of Two or whatever the case may be, Red Dead 2 or Helldivers 2. You can watch a video of it and see if you like it. And I think that's great nowadays because back in the day, if a game sucked, you couldn't tell until you played it. And if you got a mom like my mom was, one game until all weekend. You get a bad game, your whole weekend shot to hell. So you kind of take the coin, you kind of flipping a coin in the air, hoping you get something good. Because X Play wasn't really out yet, and if it was out, it's only on at 6 o'clock, and you have to wait until 6 o'clock, and you go up to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video to rent a game. You don't got time. Hey, mom, let's go watch this TV show at first. I'm like, we're already here. Buy it, rent it, or we go home. You know, and that is the whole mindset of the parents back then. They didn't understand that. No, like parents in the '90s didn't understand. Parents in the 2000s. Now, my parents were born in the '40s, right at the '50s, so they didn't understand or care. But the fact that we didn't have game reviews, they didn't care about that crap. All they cared about is getting home so they could sit around and relax because they're old, right? Yeah, hell, I'm old. So I love sitting around and relaxing. I love getting home and laying in my bed. Best time I have is laying in my bed. Sometimes when you're 44 years old, best time you have is laying in your bed watching TV or sitting on the couch. Best time you ever have because your body's not moving and you don't hurt. So when you're a young kid or you're a teenager, you don't have that problem. You jacked up Mountain Dew and sugar, caffeine and sugar. But going towards the fact, folks, how does it apply to Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo? It does. They condition us to actually want to play games live service. They want us to buy games online. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo want us to buy games online. Think about it. When Nintendo Switch dropped, the first one in 2017, it dropped with the notion that they had tons of games to play. The games they had were cannibalized from the Wii U, and all they did was slap a coat of paint on it and call it a Nintendo Switch game. And they sold to you for a higher price than you would have bought for the Wii U. If you bought the Tears of the Kingdom on the Wii U or what it was called, on Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild, for example, yeah, Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, it costs cheaper than buying it on the Switch. Why? Switch was a brand new hot thing, and people who had the Wii U bought Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. Now, granted, you people out there who bought the Switch as well, um, bought it because it's updated version, better graphic, blah blah blah. But if you're cornholed into a only owning one console for a while because of money reasons, financial reasons, you're not gonna go buy a Switch One or Switch Two just for one game. Super Mario World, Mario Kart World, ain't flying off the shelves, folks. I'm sorry. Mario Kart World, last report I read, is not flying off the shelves. People are buying Switch 2 and going home and playing the old Switch library on the Switch 2. Mario Kart World is not flying off the shelves. It's not a game that's going to be, I got to have that game. I played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I kind of know what Mario Kart World and Mario Kart World's going to be. I take a guess. Mario Kart World is a racing game. I take a guess. And I'm not really big on racing games. I'll play Horizon. I'll play Midnight Club. I'll play PlayStation racing games sometimes. but I'm not a big racing game fan, so I don't really care. I play Mario Kart 8 a lot because it's the game I got for Christmas, but I don't hold myself. I gotta play every Mario Kart 8 because I don't care. I don't play Mario Kart 8 on Nintendo Switch Online game on Nintendo Switch Online because I don't care about it. I didn't play Mario Kart 64. I didn't play Mario Kart on Super Nintendo because I didn't care about it. But people do buy Nintendo things for Mario Kart and Zelda and Mario. But I can't rationalize guys going out there and buying a $500 console for one game. My philosophy is this: if the cost of games don't at least go to half the cost of the console, then it's not worth it. Like I got my Xbox One, the base model without the Connect. I said, okay, and I want 3, 4 games and have to equal to the price of the console. Well, also got the headset I had and other stuff. Headset, and I got the Rise, and I got Rise, and I got Titanfall, and I got Dead Rising 3. All brand new, about $50 games plus a headset. You know, and it wasn't half the price, but I traded in a lot of stuff and got a gift card where I had enough to justify buying it, and I bought it. I paid, and then the rest of it off was on the gift card I had. So that helped me out too. But see, if I can't spend half, 50%, guys, of software to justify the hardware, then it's hard. PC gaming, prime example. There's a Corsair gaming rig you can buy for 6 grand. And I'm asking myself, it's pre-built. How many pre-built 6 grand PC, or how many games are going to cost $6,000? Hell, my whole library is not worth probably $1,000, maybe 500. So my gaming rig, pretty much 33,000 dollar gaming rig, start out with 1,700 bucks. It's pretty much not fully adding up to what that pay was, to how much I paid for the rig, the rig get built. But I think if you look at the gaming history as today, the gaming culture today, people are spending 5, 6 grand, guys, on a 5090 just to put it in systems so they can go play old games on it. I mean, this is insanity. Never in my lifetime that I would buy a 5090 for 2 or 3 grand, 5 grand for that matter, 2 grand that matter either, or pre-built with a 40 or 5080 in it, costing anywhere but 6 grand to go home to play, Cinebench, where stress tests your system, or play games that are not going to appeal, like Stalker 2 will open up a lot of your graphics card and use a lot of power. I'm not going to buy a pre-built game rig for $6,000 to go home and play Pac-Man on it. It just doesn't. You can play Pac-Man on your phone. Okay, I mean it's damn insanity. It's ludicrous. It's a waste of damn time and energy to go out there and spend 6 grand, on a gaming rig, or $500 on a console for one damn game, expecting people to go, okay, yeah, this is what we do now. No, the gaming community has gone down the road of what the hell are you thinking, and we're all guilty of it. We all bought a gaming console or handheld for one game, hoping that this console will turn it around. In most cases, the Switch has a lot of library games to play. If you have a Switch 1, buying a Switch 2 is not really foreseeable in the future. Not right now. But if you never bought a Switch, I don't know how you never got one for Christmas or whatever, but you've never bought one, and you're going, you know what, I'm going to get into I'm going to get into the Switch 2. You got plenty of games ready to go. Granted, you have to pay fees to update them to run on the Switch 2. But that's something you got to do, or wait for the re-release of that supposed game you want to play, or buy a Switch One for pennies on the dollar. Because Switch Ones guys are going to drop in price here. If Switch Twos take off in a few months, so the Switch Ones are going to be pretty much cheap as dirt. Okay, and Nintendo wants to charge you, $10 for every game you want to upgrade to Switch 2 graphics. I say go buy a Switch 1, screw Switch 2, buy it cheap, and buy all those games for next to nothing in a GameStop used, and just play the hell out of them and enjoy them. In most cases, they're going to run probably a little better on Switch 2, but you know, I mean, who cares? No, you're not gonna pay $10 for a game you paid $20 for and give Nintendo $10 upgraded. That should be pretty much a free upgrade. You're spending 450 bucks, 300, 400 bucks on a game console, and I get it. No, 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 and people are upset. Nintendo, oh my God, they're showing their true colors. I'm thinking, where the hell have you guys been at for the last 30 years? Nintendo used to hold companies to only three games, only like 3 games a year or 5 games a year back in the '90s, and tell companies you can't make any games for TurboGrafx 16 or Sega if you make games for us. You guys have off your rockers, man. You kids have no clue out there what Nintendo did back in the '80s and '90s. They're more tyrannical. They're more tyrannical now than they are now because they had no government leash, and they're going after everyone. If you made a game, they wanted certain rights and fees. They want almost like 50% of the profits. Granted, the game had to run on the NX chip, and if it didn't run, then it wouldn't run. So back then, it was pretty much in any way you can disable that chip. And Atari found out with the 10 Gen, the company that they made to make games for NES, they found out how to override the lockout chip. Of course, legally. But like I said, guys, Nintendo had always been this way. They've just been key centric for the last 20 years, and all of a sudden now, they sell a Switch One for pennies on a dollar, cheap, and now Switch Two. Oh my God, they're expensive. Where the hell you guys been at for the last 30 something years, 40 years? I mean, no, Nintendo's always been expensive. Their consoles and games, are premium products because they give you a premium price, but they give you a great experience. Yes, granted, it's expensive, but you will pay for it because Super Mario Bros. 2 was a great game. Mario Bros. 3 was even better. I heard nobody had to download those patches or updates on Nintendo stuff back in the day. Even nowadays, you show me a game and you show me a Nintendo IP that's made in house by Nintendo. They had to have a download update to fix a patch or fix a latency issue or fix a problem with the game not working. You show me that because Nintendo games don't have that much problems. Now, third party games working on Switch 1 and 2, you might have little issues. But going back to what I said, you know, the Zelda games, Mario games, Mario Odyssey, and Zelda Breath of the Wild, ran perfectly with no update issue problems. Yeah, you might have some Switch, you might have some updates to have it work maybe in different regions, that weren't Nintendo regions right away, or updates for latest DLC content or whatever. But you didn't have to have updates out the rear end to fix Zelda or Link to actually swing his sword better, or Mario to jump on a Goomba and not get stuck in midair because of some glitch. I didn't see that when I played Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. You comment down below if you've seen that. If you did, you're a bold-faced liar. Because Nintendo games probably don't have that problem that I'm aware of. Made new ones like Splatoon 2 might have some issues because it's a brand new IP that Mario never made before. So I get some new game, but the classics, the Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kongs, and Kirby's, those games run flawlessly on the Switch. Why? Because they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for 40 years. Now you hop into Nintendo lane, you hop into Microsoft or Sony, and you have to sit there and deal with the patches bullshit. The Armageddon of patches. And Capcom and Ubisoft, and you give us a middle finger every time they release a game. We spend $80 on a game, $70 on a game that's not worth 40. Helldivers 2, $40 in the game is too expensive. Make it $20. Why? Because the damn game hardly worked when it first came out. Granted, the infrastructure was rough because people hopped on the game to play it. I get that. But it's been a year in. Why are we still got patches? Why are we still having dropped people leaving because they get dropped? Why are we having connect issues? My internet, guys, is 100 megabyte download. I went from 300 to 100 because my roommates have left my house, and I don't need to spend $90 anymore on internet. So I spend $29.99 for 100 megabyte internet. I don't need any more. I get same connection issues with a 300 that I did with 100. It doesn't make any sense. These games are not working. You can have fiber optic internet. You can have fiber lines shoved into your damn house uh, from the main line, bypassing the Ethernet and Cat7 cable, and still have issues connections with Xbox, PlayStation server. It just makes sense. We're spending all this money. We're spending $50 for 3 months, $20 for a month, whatever you want to call it, on PlayStation and Xbox, and they can't, push a button to fix their Xbox Live any faster than about 6 hours or 4 hours. I mean, guy, we're paying a premium product, and yet they give us the middle fingers, saying, "F you, give us more money and shut the hell up and like it." My parents would have said, "You know what? You ain't buying this. We ain't having it. We're done." And they would have walked away from the gaming, and then they wouldn't have cared. Like I said, they're born in the 40s, raised in the 50s. To them, if it doesn't work when you buy it, you don't need it. And that's the mindset that we should have as gamers. We don't. We bend over, we spin our hand, and we push our blind eye up and allow Nintendo, Microsoft to come in there, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony come in there and start pounding our asses. Even Nintendo is guilty of it. With their games still being $50. They don't give you a deal. Nintendo ain't running no damn freaking soup kitchen. And charity's running that company. And that's fine. Because I'm used to Nintendo being that money grubbing. I'm known for 30 something years. Apparently, a lot of you guys woke up yesterday and realized that. I've known that for 30 years. I told you guys when the new Switch comes out, Nintendo veil is going to come off. You're going to see who they really are. And ta-da! You saw who they really are. So this is not bashing these companies. This is getting you guys understanding that the new game era we're in now, is about money. Always have, always will be. The 360 and PS3 were good because they had to bend the knee to give us to buy the consoles. The the Wii was the grandparents' game console. The Wii U was pretty much the FU that we gave Nintendo for banning us. The Switch was them walking up back in open arms, with the knives in their hands, ready to stab us. Switch 2 is now they're stabbing us in the back. But I saw it coming, so I didn't hug Nintendo. I have a Switch for Christmas, and I enjoy it, but I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I didn't drink Kool-Aid. I didn't buy an ecosystem. Yeah, I got Switch on. I got Switch Online because I like playing old games. That's it. I hardly ever buy new games for the Switch, guys. I bought Super Smash Brothers maybe about 2 months ago, and the Lego City Undercover. I bought those 2 months ago, and I play them, because they're on sale for like $7 and $20. I bought them, but I didn't lose my mind waiting day one to buy these things. I waited Nintendo out, and then they finally sold it to the price that I would pay for it. See, guys, I can go very cheap on games. I'll just wait years to buy a game. I'm part of the mindset. No, I bought my own house for a reason. and I bought a forklift home and I fixed it up, and I have my own house for a reason because I wait, I plan, I look around, I read the room. And when I saw Nintendo Switch 2 coming out, yeah, it's just going to be a machine, going to be expensive. And I was right. Yeah, granted, it's running Cyberpunk 2077 on it. Yes, it's going to be expensive. And people are saying that it runs quite well. A friend of mine who bought Switch 2 to play Cyberpunk 2077 said it runs quite well. Some glitches, but CD Projekt Red had glitches on the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC side. So I can't fault them for having glitches on the Switch too. But the game is running pretty well. Now, is it running full capacity with the full NPCs and the full graphics? Probably not. It may run even 50%. If it runs on the cartridge or if you download most of it and put it on your Switch 2 and it runs 50% of what it runs on the consoles, to me that's a haiku. That's a great achievement. And and Nintendo Switch should be celebrated. Nintendo should be celebrated for finally putting modern games on their system, but not charging us $80 for it. But I told you guys it's gonna happen. Told you guys this years ago. So you be careful. Nintendo gonna lead the charge on these new prices of games. And I was right on the money. I Babe Ruth. I called my shot and I swung for the fences and I grand slammed. Why? Because I knew exactly what they were gonna do. Now it wasn't only me, Rich, and RG285 and the rest of us. We all came up with our swing into the fences. But that's how it goes, guys. That's pretty much how it works out. We all have, called our shots and swung fences and hit home runs or even grand slams, if you want to call it. But I feel that the gaming community is still in a state of flux. How bad? No, not for sure. But what's going to change? Companies are going to go out of business. Obviously, we're seeing Bethesda lose studios as well as Activision. Um, Sony is thinking about cutting Bungie because they lied to them and so they going there. So a lot of games going to be looking at. So I would probably see that happening soon. But it doesn't mean that you won't lose access to these games. I know. I think Bungie goes away from being owned by Microsoft, being owned by Sony. Microsoft will probably devour them and send them into their realm of obscurity. But I doubt that happened with Bungie. Well, guys, this is my video. I'll catch you guys later. I'm gonna go back to bed. I got things to do tonight. Like, subscribe, in case ring that bell. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.